Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we have another book related video because I love books, and yeah, I'm wearing a bookish shirt. It says Little Fox. It's inspired by Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. My favourite book of all time. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. Enough said. But yeah, we're doing a book haul today. So these aren't like, I didn't just go into Waterstones today and buy all these books, like, don't worry. Two of them are from my holiday with my family, and then two of them are from my holiday with my boyfriend, and then the other however many are just boring from Waterstones. They're not boring, but they're just not from anywhere fancy. So yeah, I don't know which ones I want to start with. I'll start with just like the regular Waterstones ones first. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Let's go. So, I think this is actually the one I got most recently, and it is Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma. Ooh. That's a spicy last name. Oh, I don't know how I'd say that, and I feel really bad. I'm sorry, Emma, that I don't know how to say your name. And I don't even want to try and then like be really wrong and offensive, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, I saw this, I think I got a notification about it from my Waterstones app because everyone was like raving about it and I was getting like rave reviews. So the app was like, buy this book. And I was like, okay, bet. The next time I went into Waterstones after that, I bought this book. Looks very dramatic. So I'll read you the blurb. So it says, Joanna Calatay lives alone in the woods of Vermont, the sole protector of a collection of rare books, books that will allow someone to walk through walls or turn water into wine, books of magic. Her estranged older sister Esther moves between countries and jobs, constantly changing, never staying anywhere longer than a year, desperate to avoid the deadly magic that killed her mother. Currently working on a research base in Antarctica, she has found love and perhaps a sort of happiness. But when she finds spots of blood on the mirrors in the research base, she knows someone is coming for her and that Joanna and her collection are in danger. If they are to survive, Esther and Joanna must unravel the secrets of their parents kept hidden from them, secrets that span centuries and continents and could cost them their lives. So everyone was just raving about it, so I bought it. Sounds very dramatic, does it not? I'm here for the drama. And yet on the back here it says, two sisters tasked with guarding a library of magical but deadly books, a shadowy organisation that will risk anything to possess them, even murder. It says someone named Kelly Link, who is another author. It doesn't say what she's an author of, and I'm not familiar with what she's an author of, but if you know, let me know, maybe I'll check her out. But she says, if like me you're a fan of Holly Black and Lee Bardo, pick up this book at once. So if you like those two authors, then this might be the book for you. Yeah, obviously not read it yet. I feel like it's more like autumnal vibes, so I'm waiting for the weather outside to match, because it's still sunny. I mean, I love the sun, I'm not gonna complain, but like, I want to see some autumn leaves. I like the autumn leaves when they're pretty, not when they're like brown and sludgy and gross on the ground, when they're like red and orange and pretty. So yeah, I'm holding out for some more autumnal vibes before I dive into this bad boy. Now we have The Burnings by Naomi Kelsey. I saw this. Why did my boyfriend leave me in Waterstones? It's all his fault. He left. I think he had to go get a haircut. And I was like, oh, I'll just go to Waterstones then. And then he walked me to Waterstones. He was like, you gonna be alright? And I was like, yeah, bye. And it's just like walked up and he was like, okay. And this was like the first book I saw. Like on the like what's new, you know, like in Waterstones they'll have like the new fiction section separate from like the rest of the, you know, if you go to Waterstones you know. Yeah, so this haul is my boyfriend's fault because he left me unattended. Never, you should never do that. But this is about like, obviously the burnings as it would suggest, kind of like the witch trials and what have you. The back Usually on hardback books is mainly reviews at the back and like a little bit, than the blurbs on the inside cover, but I'll read you the little back bit. It says black magic is a, and then it says fiction. So it should say black magic is a fiction used by men against women. But it's basically become black magic is a, and then it says political tool used by men against women, then they're circled and swapped, so it'd be political tool used by women against men. So let's read the blurb together, because it's been a while since I bought this, so I actually forgot what the blurb says. It says, nothing scares men like witchcraft. 1589, Scottish housemaid... Her. And Danish courtier Margareta lead opposite lives, but they both know one thing. When a man cries witch, no woman is safe. Yet when the marriage of King James VI and Princess Anna of Denmark brings Giles and Margareta together, everything they supposed about good and evil, men and women, is cast in a strange and brilliant new light. For the first time in history, could black magic, or rumours of it, be a very real tool for women's political gain? As the North Berwick witch trials whip Scotland and her king into a frenzy of paranoia, the clock is ticking. Can Margareta and the other one keep each other safe? And once the burnings are over, in whose hands will power truly lie? Inspired by the incredible true story set in 16th century Scotland and Denmark, let's try that again. Inspired by the incredible true story that set 16th century Scotland and Denmark alight, The Burnings is an utterly bewitching debut novel by a multi-award winning new star of historical fiction. And then someone reviewed on the back, it doesn't say who did it, but they said, reminds me of Philippa Gregory's work, and I love Philippa Gregory. I have quite a few of her books, and I love the way Philippa Gregory writes. All her books that I've ever seen, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're about the Tudors, and I'm obsessed with that kind of time period in British history, so obviously love that, and her writing style. So if this writing style is anything like that, then I'm sure I will love it. But again, it's more autumnal vibes. Like, even just look at the cover. Like, the cover screams, read me in autumn. And the weather's not cooperating with my reading needs. How rude. Lastly, on the Waterstones train is The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. So it is a prequel to They Both Die at the End. I read that last year, I believe. This is quite a bit thicker than They Both Die at the End. I'm very intrigued. I think only one of them dies in this one, whereas in They Both Die at the End, they both die at the end. Basically, if you don't know, it's set in, is it set in the future? I can't remember. But it's set in this parallel universe, potentially, from what I remember. I don't really know. But anyway, there's a thing called Deathcast, and they somehow have the technology to know when people are going to die. So at midnight every day, they call up everyone that is going to die that day. And so yeah, in the first book, there's like two young lads. They ring them up. They're like, "You're gonna die today," kind of thing. But yeah, let's get into the blurb. Couldn't think of the word for it then. So it says, Deathcast is calling for the very first time. Orion Pagan has waited years for someone to tell him that he's going to die due to his serious heart condition. But now that he's signed up to Deathcast, he's ready to begin living. Getting an end day, that's what it's called, end day. So it's an end, they call it the end day. So it's your end day, and you can go do, the company sets up various things you can go do. Like indoor experiences, like virtual reality, bungee jumping and polar bear, stuff like that. They go do it in the first book. But yeah, to celebrate that end day and like make memories, you know. Anyway, getting an end day call is the last thing on Valentino Prince's mind. He has a long and promising future ahead of him, and he's excited to spend the night at the Deathcast launch party. When Orion and Valentino cross paths, their bond is undeniable. But after the very first Deathcast calls go out, the boys' lives are changed forever. One of them receives a call and the other doesn't. Oh, so only one of them dies. Interesting. Oh, well, it's too obvious if it's Orion, isn't it? Surely Valentino gets the call, surely. Because Orion has a serious heart condition, so it's obvious if he dies. So surely it's the other one. Surely. Surely, surely. It's sprayed edges. I love that. And yet this, I think this can be an easy read. Not emotionally, but like just physically. Because like just the way it's laid out. Like, trying. Oh, Rufus! Sorry, he was in the first book. But you can kind of see like the layout. I remember I breezed through the other one pretty quick. Like I said, it's not as long, but I kind of want to read this now. Maybe this will be my next read. I'm intrigued. Okay, so these two books. Me and my boyfriend went on vacation, as I keep saying in many, many videos. And one of the stops on our vacation, we went on a vacation cruise, and it was Lisbon. And if you didn't know, which I didn't know, Lisbon has the world's oldest operating bookshop. Here's a picture of me. I was very excited, as you can tell from my little face in the photo. So I got 2 books from the world's oldest operating bookshop. Not to flex on you, but flex. And in the front of it, they put this little stamp to certify that it was bought at the world's oldest operating bookshop. So I got the Plus Ones by Maisie Eddings and the American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. But yeah, I'd heard about the American Roommate Experiment. I'd never heard about this one before, and I really like the sound of it. So it says, some facts are indisputable. Gravity exists. Indria doesn't like Jude. Jude doesn't like Indria. Indria? I should really look up how to pronounce all of these names before I come on camera. I'm going to say Indria, and if I'm wrong, correct me. Indria has everything together. An amazing job, a boyfriend, a car. What more could a late 20-something want? Well, not walking in on her boyfriend with another woman, for one thing. Her childhood enemy, Jude, has nothing together. Having spent 3 years travelling the world to treat emergencies and humanitarian crises, a quick trip home for his best friend's wedding has him struggling to readjust. Thrust into an elaborate and ridiculously drawn-out wedding, Jude and Idrina... They've stuck a label right over the blurb. It's so annoying. Okay. Thrust into an elaborate, ridiculously drawn-out wedding, Jude and Indrina, who can't seem to escape her ex and his new girlfriend, are both soon at breaking point. Their solution? A bargain to be each other's fake dates. But what happens when the forced proximity and fake displays of affection start to feel a bit too real? And I'd recently read The Spanish Love Deception when I bought this book. And it just has similar vibes to The Spanish Love Deception, in my opinion. Fake dating at a wedding and actually falling in love. Like, that's literally The Spanish Love Deception, just without the Spain. Just without the Spanish. But yeah, I'm looking forward to read this. I might read it next. I said that about the last book, didn't I? I don't know. I've read a lot of romance recently, so maybe I should take a break and flip to a new genre. But I feel like this is a very summery book, so I should read it while the vibes are still summery. Oh. Guys, just, I want the weather to cooperate with my reading needs. Is that too much to ask? Okay, and then the other one I got, the American Roommate Experiment. Like I said, I read The Spanish Love Deception. So then I saw this in the world's oldest bookshop, and I was like, because I loved The Spanish Love Deception, so I was like, well, read the other books by the author, duh, you'll like them. Kind of thing. So this one says, sometimes love just needs a little inspiration. Rosie Graham has a problem. A few, actually. First, she quit her well-paid job to focus on her secret career as a romance writer, only to enter a creative slump. Then the ceiling of her New York apartment falls in. To make matters worse, when she heads to her best friend's apartment, she finds that Lena has already lent the studio to her cousin Lucas, who Rosie has been, for lack of a better word, stalking on Instagram. When Lucas suggests they share the small space, Rosie discovers that he strolls around the place in a towel, has a distracting grin, an irresistible accent, and cooks meals that are just as tempting. Then he learns about Rosie's writer's block and proposes an outrageous idea. He'll take her on a series of experimental dates to reignite her literary muse. This shouldn't be a problem because Lucas's stay in New York also has a deadline, but she might find it hard to write now the research is so much more fun. Oh! Fun fact, Lena is the main character in Spanish Love Deception. So I'm guessing Rosie's her friend. Actually, no, I remember Rosie. Rosie is her friend. Oh, I love that it's connected. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That's cool. I now that I've made that connection, that makes me very happy. Yay. But yeah, those are the 2 books from the oldest bookshop in the world. If you're ever in Lisbon, check it out. Yeah, I would recommend going there, because if you love books, they'll give you a cool little stamp. If you're like a collector of books and you want to collect cool books, having that little stamp just makes it so cool. I also got a tote bag from there, and it says I can buy myself books, like the Miley Cyrus song Flowers. I can buy myself flowers, I can buy myself books. You know, it's the same thing. So my final 2 books for you today are from Barnes and Noble, and I got them when I was on my Florida vacation with my family, and they are The Story of King Arthur and His Knights by Howard Pyle, and The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood, also by Howard Pyle. So they are the Barnes and Noble collectible editions, with the marker, like the ribbon marker and the illustrations. I collect these. There was a shop in the town where I went to uni that would sell some of these, but they obviously don't stock all of them because they just probably wouldn't be able to. So when we were going to Florida, I was like, can we please find a Barnes & Noble, because I knew I wanted this one. I definitely wanted this one because I love that BBC show Merlin from like the 2010s, is it? Yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed. Bradley James as King Arthur. Obsessed. Obsessed. Not in like a creepy stalker way though. But yeah, the story of King Arthur in general, I've always found super intriguing. Like there was this Disney Channel original movie back in the day called Avalon High, and when I tell you, I was so invested. I was so obsessed. Like, and then it was the first thing I watched when we got Disney Plus. The first thing I ever watched on Disney Plus was Avalon High. So many people are probably watching this like, babes, what is Avalon High? But it was the first thing I watched on Disney Plus. Because I'm just obsessed with King Arthur. I love it. I love the legend of King Arthur. Like, how do I get paid to talk about King Arthur? That would be my dream job, is to just something to do with King Arthur and the legend. Like, oh, someone make it happen for me. Please. But yeah, still in the cellophane. I've not got anywhere to put it right now. My collectible edition books are sadly still wrapped up and packed away from my move because my bookshelf has no room. Quite embarrassing. Like all these books that I just showed you, they have no home. There is no space on the shelf. So don't really know what we're gonna do about that, but we'll see. But yeah, everyone knows the story of King Arthur. There's not even like a blurb on these kind of books, like the Barnes & Noble collectible editions, but it just says, maybe he will make thee a knight of his round table, and there is no honour in all of the world that can be so great as that. I want to read it now. I don't know why I haven't torn into this yet, because I'm watching Merlin currently, rewatching Merlin on the last season though, so then I'll probably rewatch it again. And I'm reading the T.H. White, is it T.H. White? I'm reading this book on the down low. Like, it's not logged into my reading app or anything, like I don't track reading it, I'm just reading it to read it, sort of thing. And that's all about King Arthur. So I'm getting my fix of Arthur literature that way. But now I really want to read this. And then the other one is The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. Again, you all know the tale of Robin Hood. I remember I always loved the, again, Disney cartoon with the fox. Always loved it. When did I watch it? I watched it not that long ago with my boyfriend actually. We just watched it. Yeah, it's the same vibe. Like orange because like the fox, and then green because Robin Hood. Anyway, and then the blurb for this one is, In merry England in the time of old, there lived within the green glades of Sherwood Forest, near Nottingham Town, a famous outlaw whose name was Robin Hood. I feel like I should have maybe said that in a bit more of a poemy way, but I couldn't work out the cadence of the verse, so I just read it. But I feel like that was meant to be a bit poemy. I don't know. But I feel like the cadence of my reading was just off. Anyway, what is wrong with me today? But yeah, those are all the books I have to show you today. There'll probably be another one soon, knowing me. There will most likely be another book haul soon, because I have no self-control. I really don't. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like this was a boring video. I don't really know what's wrong with me today. But I hope you liked it. Maybe you found some books that you're interested in. If you are, I will leave the links in the description. I will link the Barnes & Noble books, but beware if you're in the UK. They don't ship here.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So, I don't know, you might need to, if you have a mail forwarding address and you really want it, go for it, babes. But yeah, you can't ship from Barnes & Noble to the UK. Very, very upsetting. Very upsetting. But yeah, everything else is just from Waterstones. Obviously, I didn't buy the Lisbon books from Waterstones, but I'm sure they are on there and I will find them and link the Waterstones link in the description. And if you're American, I'm sure it's in Barnes & Noble. So, you got this. Like, I'm sorry if people are American and all my links are British, but that's because I'm British. What is wrong with me today? I'm just going to wrap it up now before I get even crazier. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up and I will see you in my next video. Bye!